YouTube family, Greg D here with another DCUO video. Thought it would be a good idea to make another episode in our little series here of coming back into the game in 2025 because through comments and through doing some of the live streams, I've gotten questions regarding, what's better, precision or might DPSing, what's the difference between might and precision. And I will say that honestly, with the right specs, with the right loadout, it doesn't matter what power you are, you can find something that works for you and that hits really hard when it comes to DPSing. Now, in my own personal experience with what I've tried to do, I will say that it seems to me like precision does hit harder than might. Precision is more involved when you do when you are focusing on DPSing. I will say might is much more laid back, but it can still hit really hard. Um, Honestly, so yeah. So basically, the difference is between, though, for those of you who are asking, for those of you who are new, what is the difference between might damage and precision damage? So every time you hit an enemy, as you can see there, I'm doing weapon attacks. And as you can see, all those numbers that are popping up are white. Those are your precision damage. That is your precision damage. Every time that you hit a power, and now you see that there are yellow ticks of damage, that is your might damage. So just a basic, real easy way to remember is anytime you use a power in your loadout, it's might damage. Anytime you use a weapon, it's going to be precision damage. Now, again, might damage is literally like if you want to focus on might damage, then you're not using any weapon attacks at all. So you're literally just going through and doing your thing here. Like, I am literally not using any of my weapon attacks at all. This is literally just going through. Now, you will see that there are some precision ticks in there, but that is because of my artifacts and my stats. So again, like if you literally just you don't want to focus on like weapon attacks or getting too difficult. You just kind of want to roll through and do a loadout from your powers. That's what you want to do. But you also need to make sure, one thing that you do need to make sure, if you are might based, or I should say whether you are might or precision based, you want to make sure that you have your augments based on what you want. So obviously, if you want more might, if you want to go straight might damage, you want to make sure that all of your augments are all might. You want to make sure that these head augments are both might. As you can see here, I've got one might, one precision, because I'm kind of running sort of like a hybrid type loadout. And as you can see here, doing this means that I get a bit more precision damage than I do might damage. Same thing with your artifacts. You want to make sure that you have artifacts that are aligned with what you're trying to do. So a good base to remember, no matter whether you are precision or might, transformation card, strategist card, these have been around for quite some time regarding your artifacts. They are kind of like the base DPS that most DPSs will run. Obviously, you can mix and match depending on, again, your play style, what works best for you. I found out that Tantu Totem for precision works really well. Omega, the Omega Totality for might is like OP right now. I know Candle of Neron is the new artifact, and that's like the biggest thing right now, but from what I've seen, Omega still hits harder in comparison of like, if you're comparing level 200 to level 200, Omega still hits harder than Candle. So Omega would be, so for example, what I might do for my might damage, so I might keep these two, because again, these are precision and might. You're not really going to have to swap these out if you don't want. What I might do is I might switch out Tantu Totem for Omega and then run Omega. Also, what I might do instead of a transformation card here is I might run Ebon, because you have to remember too that when you are using your might based damage and just your rotation, as you can see, your power is getting used. Your power is being used. Whereas with, like, if I'm using just straight precision, my power doesn't get used at all. So some might loadouts are very power hungry. So what I might suggest doing is making sure that here in your artifacts, so like if I was running might, for example, I would switch out Tantu Totem for Omega, and I might want to switch out Transformation card for Ebon, which helps you with power regen. Also, don't forget too that whether you are precision or might based, you can have allies that kind of help you, um, based off of what you're trying to go for here. Like Cyborg is good, and I know I've mentioned this in the ally video previously, but Cyborg is good for power regen. For example, there are particular allies depending on what power you are. So, like if you're nature, you can have poison ivy. If you have a pet power like earth or sorcery, you can go with Zatanna. Obviously, I'm using Shazam here for the might and the power, or the might and precision buff. So that's something that you can have regardless. Batman Who Laughs gives you might and precision and everything buffs, like resto, health, critical chance, all that. So Batman Who Laughs. I found that Shazam is a good all-rounder, as having a second support ally there. Um, but you can play with these depending on, again, what you're going for, what you want to do. But again, all your white ticks, precision, all of your powers are going to be yellow. And again, like I said, you got to make sure. Also, don't forget too, and I just thought of this myself. When you go to your base, make sure that you have your generator mods set up. So we'll go there based on. Oops, I got to get out of combat. Based off of what you want to do as well. So, for example, like if I go to my base and we show you here, if you're new and you haven't done this yet, so if you go to your base, pardon me, got the hiccups. If you go down here to your base and you go down here, so come down here to your generator mods. If you want to focus on your might damage, obviously you would want all of these to be might. If you're focusing on precision, you want all of those to be precision. If you're going a hybrid style, um, 2 might, 2 precision, and then all of these, of course, I like to have a mix of health and power up here. These can be dependent on what your ultimate role is. So resto for healers, dominance for tanks, um, vitalization for controllers. You might be wondering why I have a dominance here, just because I wanted to get a little bit more tankiness there out of my character. Don't forget affinity mods too, so depending on what you want there, you can do health, you can do power, you can do precision, might. And then don't forget too, last thing is your white mods here, or your mods in general here, can be used for one. Some are particular power particular, but I mean you can go your extra precision, extra might, extra blocking, extra whatever. So it really just depends on what you want to do. Sometimes might loadouts, from what from what I've done personally and what I've seen, I've talked to a lot of you guys. Sometimes might based loadouts are better. Sometimes precisions are better. I will say might are easier, just because again you're going straight through your rotation. You're not really doing anything fancy. You're not adding in. I find precision to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit more rewarding. So, I mean, it is what it is. But there you go. I hope this helped. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, ask me, pop onto a stream, let me know. But like I said, it all comes down to, it doesn't matter what power you are, you just have to have the right artifacts, the right specs, a decent loadout, and just make sure, and don't chase being, oh, this is the new artifact, I have to get it. Don't chase like, oh, I have to be the top DPS every time. That just that just makes the game too serious, and I feel like it kills the fun factor of the game. Just find something that works for you, that you like doing, that is fun to you, and therefore makes the game more enjoyable. That's all it is. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to conclude this video right here. Hopefully, you guys found it informative. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more because we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, until next time, see you soon.